Oh, hi. I didn't notice you there. Okay, let's get started with some push-up variations. Now, before we get into it, let me just say, as I always do, from the bottom of my heart, when using our exercise videos, you need to use common sense to reduce or avoid injury. Check with your doctor before beginning any fitness program. By performing any fitness exercise, you do so at your own risk. Elevation Corporate Health will not be responsible for any injury or harm sustained as a result of our fitness programs, videos, or info on our websites and email campaigns. Now, let's get started with one of the push-up variations that you're probably familiar with, because I do them a lot, but we're going to do a little change that will make them a little bit different. So we said you should bring in push-ups. And when we do those, we just crawl our hands forward, as far forward as you can. Now, I want you to try them with your hands elevated slightly. Even just a little bit of elevation can change how it works your lats. So I'm just putting them on top of, I'm putting my hands on top of these 25-pound dumbbells. And I'm just going to, and from here, with a fairly wide grip to emphasize the lats, drive up, and back down. You can see that's pretty difficult. But try to get your hands as far forward as you can, and even a slight elevation. Just grip whatever surface, even if it's flat, try to grip into it, whatever surface that you're using, and then just think of driving those elbows, I'm still thinking of driving from the elbows, down into the floor. Brace hard, and drive up. So that's a hands elevated Superman push-up. Now that one is pretty difficult, so this is going to put a little more work on the triceps, and you'll see why in just a second. So I'm going to start with my palms down against the floor and my elbows right under my shoulders. What we're going to do is press the hands down into the ground. We're trying to get into the triceps, and now we're going to really think about the connection going to the hand, and then we're going to come up by extending the elbows. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm just going to sit down like this. Everything's braced, regular, other than the fact that we're on the elbows. It's our plank position. It's a regular push-up position. So we're just going to grip the floor, brace hard, drive down, elbows come back down, drive the hand into the floor. Just like that. So you can see now, we're taking that shoulder rotation out of it, isolating that work on the triceps. Now we'll look at our next push-up variation. So I think they might call this a, yoga might call this a chaturanga. My wrestling coach has to do these all the time. And they start with the hips actually high, and then I'm going to drive my head down toward the ground and then let it just above the ground, brush the ground, and then I'm going to push up from here. And the key is to now reverse that. So I'm going to push the hips back, head raises the floor, and then I drive my arms away from the floor. So I drive my arms, well, maybe not away from the floor, but I drive my arms away from my hips. Back down, come through, and back up. Down, come through, and back up. So you want everything to just kind of graze the floor on that way through. So that also gets into the lats a little bit differently because of all that shoulder extension and flexion. So that's going to get into the lats a little bit differently. Now, we'll talk about how we can isolate the pecs a little more. Now we had the hands forward to isolate the lats and make the abs work a little harder. Now we're going to take the hands, and you'll see, this is a lot like our pack fly. Get this dumbbell out of the way. What I'm doing is now keeping my hands out to the side to isolate the pecs. Same principle with all of these. We're keeping our plank position. Even with the tiger push-up, we were just in our plank position from the elbows. Grip the floor, and now try to squeeze the hands toward the midline through the floor in order to come up. And it's really just a very wide grip push-up, but having those hands out to the side really does take away the ability of the arms now to do a lot of work. So before we were isolating the triceps with the tiger push-up, now we're going to isolate the pecs. Let's do one more. Now we do our archer push-up. We go side to side. I'm not going to demonstrate that because we do that all the time. But we're going to do something that is similar to the Superman push-up, but has enough differences to be worth using. So I'm going to go down. This is going to be the last push-up variation we're going to use. This is going to get into the shoulders a little bit more. You'll see why in a second. So I'm going to drop down, and from here, I'm going to walk myself back, walk myself forward, and then come back up. Now trying to do that while you keep your plank. Try to keep that chest about an inch off the floor the entire time, and try to do it on a stable surface. It doesn't work so well on a surface that's going to slip as you're walking back, like this cargo will. But try to do it on something that you know is going to stay stable. So we went through the hands elevated Superman push-up. We went through a tiger push-up. We went through pec isolation push-up. We went through a walk back push-up, and we went through a diving push-up. I don't know if it is like a chaturanga, I don't know for sure if that's what that is, but I know that we used to do them all the time in wrestling practice, and they were really good. And I've been doing them more lately. So try all of them, see if you can get a set of 15 on each one in one workout. Just go through them in the order we did in the video, and let me know how it was.